Welcome everyone to our Monday night shiur. Before we start, I've been getting complaints. I don't say the sponsors, so I'm gonna say it right now. Our shiur is Refuah Shlema, Chaya Bat Chofi, Bat Sheva Lea Bat Chana, Yaakov Ben Oshrat, Shmuel Shmi Zalman Ben Yochel Chava, Beverly Bat Sarah, Ve'atzlachat, Ariel Ben Miriam. Amen. There is one anonymous, also contributor. He wants to stay anonymous. Hashem bless him. No, it's a him actually. Hashem bless him that he gets a lot of bracha, v'atzlacha, parnasa. But zug na'ah b'ezrat Hashem. Whoever prays for his friend gets it first, by the way. So, yeah, may your friend get it first. If you mean it, by the way. I do mean it. I hope so. So, I want to say welcome to all our friends who've come across the seas. Welcome back. We missed you. I know it's cold over here and it's going to be cold for another week. Something hasn't been here for a couple of years. I haven't remembered something like this in years. You remember something like this? The whole week? Not storms after another?
5-10 years ago maybe.
So much for global warming. I mean, I don't know. That's what they said. Global warming. It's getting warmer. I don't mind. They're saying another 1,000 years. Okay, listen. 70 years you live. Who said? They say by Chizkiyahu HaMelech, we're talking about this. Just really quick, without any diversions. Somebody get me back to the beginning over here. Maybe I'm talking to you. The king Chizkiyahu, when he had the whole miracle happen to him, when the whole army of Sancheriv came to kill him, that night was Passover. And he didn't sing the song to Hashem in the morning. He didn't sing. He didn't say Hallel. It's funny because Pesach, what do we say in Pesach? Hallel. No, in the Hallel of Pesach night we don't say a bracha, and the Aravit we say. Well, back then there was no Aravit like we have today. Obviously, I was on checking the Gedolah. He didn't say a song. Maybe he was supposed to say his own song, because I would assume that Chizkiyahu HaMelech would say a song. He would say the Hallel. And that night, all the army of Sancheriv was burned to a crisp. But they left the shirts on, by the way. Shirts, trousers, everything was left. Just burned to a crisp, like Nadav and Avihu, how they were burned to a crisp. Just the clothes were left. Like this, they were left. And it says over there by Chizkiyahu HaMelech, when he came back, when the whole story happened afterwards, Hashem wanted to kill him. Chizkiyahu HaMelech, why did he want to kill him? He wasn't married. He wasn't married.
That's the only reason?
Only reason.
That's what he died.
Hashem wanted to take him. Me'olam hazeh or me'olam haba. It says, Ki met ata, the prophet Isaiah, which is going to be his future father-in-law, tells him, Ki met ata velo tichye. You're going to die and you won't live. Wait a second.
No resurrection.
You're going to die and you're not going to live. That's redundant. If you're going to die, obviously you're not going to live. So the Gemara explains, Rashi brings it down, Met ata be'olam hazeh. You're going to die from this word, velo tichye le'olam haba. Finitos.
No future.
No future. You're nothing. All your Torah, all your mitzvot. It says in the time of Chizkiyahu HaMelech, a child, look to your left over there, a child, knew alachot tumah v'tahara. They checked from Dan, which is the end of Am Yisrael, the Eretz Yisrael, to Beersheba. There wasn't one child who didn't know the halachot of purity and impurity. And trust me, I learned these things, hardest things you'll ever learn in your life. You think Baba Batra is hard, monetary things, this, that, Tumah v'tahara, get out of here. You know how hard it is? You know why? Because we haven't been used to it already. 2,000 years we're away from the Beit HaMikdash. We're not used to it. We don't know what's going on. We haven't had any shimush. We haven't felt it. We haven't seen it. It's all theoretical. We have been desensitized, absolutely. And Chizkiyahu HaMelech, because he wasn't married. Why wasn't he married? He saw Beruach Kocho. He wasn't a Navi. The kings of the house of David were not Nevi'im. They were Baalei Ruach HaKodesh. Also King Solomon, when he saw his whole prophecy, it wasn't a prophecy, it was Ruach HaKodesh. Also Daniel, when he has the whole book of Daniel, the Gemara says he wasn't a prophet. He was about Ruach HaKodesh. Daniel.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Ruach HaKodesh is a more, how you say, watered down message. It's a more watered down. Yeah, than prophecy. It's almost as close to getting to the world of Atzilut. But the Ruach HaKodesh, you're only getting it from Bria, if you're lucky, Yitzira, and so on and so forth. But you're getting it from Malachim with the Kedoshim. You're getting from a pure source. So Chizkiyahu HaMelech was supposed to die. Because he wasn't married. What does he do when he's supposed to die? He was sick, by the way. Because remember Avraham Avinu, he prayed that people before they're supposed to die, what's supposed to happen to them? They're supposed to get sick, then they're supposed to die. Why? It's a very big chesed. When a person is sick first, what happens? He could say, you get this, you get that, you get this. He could split out the inheritance. But a person just goes hapchi and he goes, yalla, his neshama goes up. Everybody fights over the inheritance. Lo alim Olam Yisrael. That's what's going on right now in the corona. I'm very upset over those people who say corona doesn't exist. There's thousands of people, Jews at least, they died. We went to the hospital without ever coming back. How are you gonna be machish at that? How are you gonna say it doesn't exist? Yes, please. Thank you. How are you gonna say it doesn't exist? Of course it exists. But I remember Hakadosh Baruch Hu has an address for everything. I remember when the corona first came out a year ago. This Purim is gonna be 1 year. Abotai, Mishpat Rishaim B'Gehenom, Shneim Asar Chodesh. Rishaim go to Gehenom for how many months? 12 months. We're reaching that point. 12 months of the Rishaim. And when I first started, I wanted to make a video about the coronavirus, like all the rabbis did. So my wife wasn't feeling it. She's usually my camera woman, I guess. And I was looking for a source. What can I say about the coronavirus? And I found a source inside the books of Rabbi Yehuda Ftaya. Minchat Yehuda. Why does Magefot happen to Klal Yisrael? Believe it or not, no matter how many I tried to, it didn't come out. I tried to record it didn't come out. Didn't come out 2-3 times, and it was a 40-minute lecture. That's something small. It's a Minchat Yehuda. 30-40 minutes every time. Erased. Something happened. It didn't get recorded. I gave up. Maybe one day. That's right. Maybe it's the real point. Maybe one day I'll open the Minchat Yehuda. I'll read you what Rabbi Yehuda Ftaya. Maybe on Shabbat. On Shabbat we have more Siyata Deshmaya over here. I will read you what Rabbi Yehuda Ftaya says regarding Dever. Dever is a plague. We're 1 year inside this thing. We have to wake up. Anyways, Chizkiyahu HaMelech, when he got sick, remember, all tzaddikim, Ariya Kadosh died from what? Plague. Ramchal, plague. Rabbi Chaim Vita, all the big tzaddikim died from what? Dever. From Dever.
So Dever is considered a plague.
They say it was a plague. Ariya Kadosh for sure died from a plague. There was a cholera, all this kind of plague, all this kind of, and they died. Remember, in time of Rabbi Akiva, not so far, 1918, 1919. The Spanish flu. The Spanish flu.
1917.
50 million people, they say, died from it. 50 million people. Today we're getting close to what?
Half a million.
Two. I think two, no? Two.
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Maybe.
About 2. I think we're getting to about 2 million. So there is
population is a lot.
Okay, put all together. It's not really that heart attack. It was cancer, Shalom, all these kind of stuff. But still, this thing is happening. We have to wake up. We've become desensitized. We've lost our. Remember in the beginning of this whole thing, Pitu Maktoret, Avinu Malkeinu, Yoshev B'Setar Elyon. That's what happens. We've lost our thing. That's what Gehenom is, by the way. How could a person stay in Gehenom for 12 months? He becomes desensitized. Okay, you go back inside this, out of this, you get in the laundry machine again. You become used to it. No, Beseder. People ask once a question. It's a very question. It shouldn't be asked, but they ask it how the Jews in the Holocaust didn't revolt. There were places in camps that they revolted. They did revolt. There were certain camps that they did revolt. But how in Auschwitz, Buchenwald, Treblinka, these are the biggest camps where they killed Jews one by one over there. You know, Mengele, he used to do human experiments on Jews. He used to take twins, he used to keep them alive, kill the parents, keep them alive, and see if I put a medication to this. That's why they say that German medicine is higher than all other medicines in the world. It's higher than all other medicine. Why? Do you know who they experiment? You know? Yeah.
What do you mean by higher?
It's more efficient than any. And I've known certain people with certain kind of problems that they've gone to Germany
They're very proficient.
Very proficient, very straightforward. They do what they gotta do, and they remember they when you experiment on a mouse or a rat, there's so much that you can put your science on. But when you experiment on a human, there's a lot you could put your science on over there, and a lot of those humans were Jews. A lot of them, especially in Auschwitz and Buchenwald, Treblinka, the famous concentration camps over there. And it's so sad. I say this to kids in my class. Guys, somebody remind me Chizkiyahu Amelech. We're going to get back to him. It's so sad that in my class I teach kids today on TikTok, whoever goes in that thing, for sure 100%, he could lose his Olam Haba in 1 second. Wow. In 1 second he could lose his Olam Haba from this Pagam Ma'anayim, which it's not that he loses it over there. It has hashlachot. It has ramifications. You understand? So don't think I'm seeing it right now. And okay, but say it. There's so much tuma over there. Say there, you know. And this TikTok, Instagram, mostly TikTok right now, not Instagram. This is the new klipa of today's days. Be'emet. And this, it says over there, one person says, okay, the Jews burnt in ovens. Let's make a joke out of it. You know, if you're not cool, if you're cool, make a joke out of it today. Let's make a joke. Rabotai, it's been only 100 years. 75, 80 years. Already make a joke out of it? Already? Extermination of 6 million of one race. 6 million. You know how many Russians died in World War II? Millions. Just in a war. Just in a war. How much? 20 million statistically. How many Americans, Japanese, forget about it. Do you know how many human beings were sacrificed? I don't want to call it sacrifice, but you know how many human beings were purged? And already make a joke out of it? Our generation lost its sensitivity. You know what all about you know what Judaism is? Hitpa'alut, sensitivity. You're not going to pray a real shacharit until you're sensitive. You're not going to have real shalom bayit until you're sensitive. You're not going to be a rav until what? You're sensitive. You're not going to be a real friend until what? You're sensitive. You think you can go out on a date? You're not going to be successful until what? You're sensitive. Those Americans, you know what they say? Hakol tov. You get angry? I say something is wrong. We're human beings. That's our teva. We get angry. We get sad. We get upset. We have ta'avot. We work on it together. We need each other to fix each other. Anyways, we're getting too much. Anyways, Chizkiyahu Amelech. You see, I just saw you. We got back on track. Chizkiyahu Amelech. What did he do when he got sick? What did he do? Vayasev Chizkiyahu panav el ha-kir. He moved his face to the wall. He was sick by the bed. He was sick. What did he do? He moved his face by the wall. The halacha is, if you want your tefillah to be accepted, try to pray in a place in the shul where you have nobody being a chatzitza. How do you say chatzitza? Separation. Try to play closer to the wall, or have something in front. Like you have to. Today, in the coronavirus, you have capsulot. You know, not over here, but obviously, somebody they have caps. You know, capsules. It's mamash. Vayasef Chizkiyahu panav el hakir. You have the wall. That's how you have to pray. When you pray, try to daven closer to a place where no human being is separating between you and the wall. Why? The kir, if you say kir in Hebrew, is kuf, yud, reish. What are we fasting on Shavavim for? Kuf, reish, yud, keri.
What's that?
Keri is it's whatever comes out of you. But also keri means coincidence. Keri is coincidence. This means coincidence. If you want to break that coincidence, what does Hashem say? You're going to go with me with coincidence? It says this. In the end of Sefer Vayikra, if you're going to go with me with coincidence, I'm going to go with you bechamat keri. I'm going to show you what coincidence really means. And if you're still not going to listen, I'm going to show you 7 times coincidence. Rabotai, you know what I call our time? The husband married the wife. The wife got pregnant. She's in the hospital already. She's about to give birth. She's already 2 centimeters dilated. From 2 centimeters to 8, whoever knows, that's the longest way. That's when the weight is the worst over there. Rabotai, the Knesset Israel, Am Yisrael, it's already pregnant. Mashiach is supposed to be born. It's supposed to be born already. Everything is supposed to happen already. It's 2 centimeters dilated. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? Va'alachti imachem Behamat keri. You know what contractions is? You know how contractions feel? I mean, most women say have something called epidural. Epidural, I always say this. I mean, not to you guys I've said this. Epidural, this is Maaseh Satan. Why? I hope no woman is watching this shiur over here. Why? Every human being is supposed to go through a certain amount of Yisurim in his life. Certain amount of Yisurim. If you're not going to get the Yisurim when it's supposed to happen to you, you're going to get it in a different place. Don't worry. It's going to come to you because your neshama needs to go through a cleansing process. If you're not going to, you'd rather get it over here than in Gehenom, by the way. Because over there in Gehenom, it's not the laundry machine, let's call it, that burns you. It's the busha that burns you. It's like a person who says, I had a test. I had the test. I had it. I could have gotten the right answers. How stupid was I that I was looking in the wrong place? And that idea eats at your head inside the Gehenom. Like, you knew you could have done it. And you know what? Once you finish with Gehenom, you're not going to finish over there. You're coming back down here. You're coming back down. And you know what kind of pain it is to the neshama? You know what kind of pain it is to the neshama? He knows he has to come back down here. He has to find a wife again. He has to go to school again. He has to deal with the whole mishpucha. He has to deal with area. The Yisrael all over again. Everything. The neshama doesn't want that. The Gemara Masachet Nida says, Hashem, kabut abib, we say in Bukhari, as if takes the neshama, you going back down there. Why? I didn't create anything in Olam Haba that could fix you. It would be too easy. You don't want it to be easy. You want to earn Olam Haba. You want to earn it? You have to go to a place where you don't see me. Where is that place? Earth. This place inside the Etz HaChaim is called Malchut. The Malchut. This is the Malchut. It's the Shekhinah of the Shekhinah. It's the lowest. It's the center. It's the center. This is where the Tzimtzum was. The constriction was from the Orient. So over here is where all the... So when a person davens, he has to remember. Let me get a napkin. Anybody has... I have. When a person davens, I'm a teacher. When a person teaches, he always has to have two things ready. Markers and a napkin. When a person has to know one thing. When he davens, it's the highest point of his day. More than Talmud Torah. Now I'm going to tell you guys something crazy. So Chizkiyahu HaMelech, he davened by the kir. He davened straight to Hashem. Isaiah the prophet told him, you're going to die. Not only in this world, in the next world you're also going to die. He was supposed to be Mashiach, by the way. There is a opinion in the Gemara. Rabbi Hillel says, Chizkiyahu HaMelech was Mashiach, and we're not going to live through Mashiach. According to Rabbi Hillel in Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, if you don't believe in Mashiach, you have Olam Haba. If you don't believe in him, you still have Olam Haba. Believing in the Mashiach is not a condition to having Olam Haba. It's not a prerequisite. You don't need to believe in him, according to Rabbi Hillel. Why? We had him. We missed the boat. You don't have to live through that era to get to Olam Haba. What's Olam Haba? By the way, what's Olam Haba? According to the Ari HaKadosh. Not according. There's many opinions. I want to know who learned by Eliyahu Hanavi face to face. What does the Ari says Olam Haba is? Tehiyat Hametim. When you get back in the resurrection, we're all of us over here. We're coming back. Maybe we meet each other again. Amen. Hopefully we don't have to go through the whole thing, but if we do it, hopefully we meet each other again. And we learn together Torah again, because that's the main thing. You see, right now, you don't see what you're doing when you're learning Torah. In Olam Haba, and in Gan Eden, obviously, hopefully we don't have to get there, but we're going to live through Gog Magog and all these things. When we get to Olam Haba, when I'm going to say the words of Torah, you're listening, you're going to see how the Sfirot, the angels, everything is being created at the moment. You're going to have such a high, you're not going to want to leave the shul. You're not going to want to leave. You're going to be like, what? This is what's going on when I'm davening, when I'm praying. What's going on? I want to stay here. When you're going to go home, you're going to be like, okay, if the situation presents itself, I'll do a mitzvah, I'm going to see it. But it's not constant. I want to go back to shul. That's why Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, when he got married, 7 days didn't pass. He said to his friend, Rabbi Chaina ben Chachinai, he said, I want to go to yeshiva. How long you want to go to yeshiva for? 12 years. Hello, you just got married. You leaving your wife like that? Shalom bye, shalom bye, shalom bye. How are you going to leave your wife like that? No, Habibi. And Zman, they felt it. Why? They were close to the second Beit HaMikdash. They still had a piece of that Ruach HaKodesh. They still had the spark of that. Today, we're 1,952 years away from that. And still we're here. We're still learning. We're still enjoying. Yeah, we say Chinese food, Mama Schnitzel. Show me. Wow, I said Mama Schnitzel, who walks in? Unbelievable. You see Torah Lishma? Do you see that, guys? Did you see that? Did you see that? That's amazing. That's crazy. So we say come because of this. Gonna have some drinks. This, that. Rabbi Isai. That's just to pacify the Yisrael of it, to pacify him. But really, you know why you're coming over here? You know why you're coming? Your neshama knows. It feels. It's not just thirsty. It craves. It craves what it is. And what is it? The Zohar HaKadosh says, Oraita. What's Oraita? Oraita? Torah. Kucha Brichu. Hashem. Yisrael. Us. Chadhun. It's one entity. Do you realize what you are? You have no idea what you are. You could reach such a level, such a height. That's why we've been through this 1,950 years of God. You know why we're here? Selection process. Selection. Erev Rav. Get rid of Erev Rav. Erev Rav. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. You know what's going on right now? We get those assimilate. You know who those assimilating? There's Erev Rav. They're assimilating. They're getting things. There's a sifting process. You know what's going on in Israel right now? I don't want to call it Eretz. Medinat Israel. I'm going to call it. The state of Israel. We call it. See, they have a Tochnit means a program called Eretz Nehederet.
What is this?
It's like a comedy show.
Like Saturday
Saturday Night Live. You know what it did? They took Rav Chaim Kanievsky. They made a joke out of him, like he's some senile old fool. And his grandson tells him, Saba, mala sot ima corona. Oh, yo. I don't want to redo it. I only saw 30 seconds and I couldn't see it anymore. Wow. Do you know what kind of kitrug that is? You know where that comes from? The Erev Rav get it from who? Those are the Erev Rav. You know where they get it from? From us. When we see all the back and forths in Klal Yisrael and we lose our emunat chachamim, they get power. They get that power. They suck from us. Rav Ashlag was one of the greatest tzaddikim. He used to say the Jews are the nucleus. We, Am Yisrael, we're the nucleus. Surrounding us is who? The good goyim. Surrounding them is the bad goyim. Surrounding them is the good animals, the ones that don't like to attack. Surrounding them is the bad animals. Surrounding them is the shindalets. There's good shindalets. Surrounding them is the bad shindalets. What is everything getting the shefa from? From the nucleus. If we do right, everything gets it right. If we do wrong, everything goes wrong, Rabotai. You don't get it what I'm saying? That's why I tell the kids in my class. Yeah, you. I say to them, Rabotai, you know what you're listening to? Every time you listen to a rap, shmap, cap, all this shtuyot, you think that you're just listening for yourself. I'm only doing from myself, Pagam. You don't understand how many nitzotzot, how many kiddushot in the world is feeding off of you of that moment. And how many people, you know what the Ari HaKadosh says? I'm going to tell you the Ari HaKadosh says, you're going to be afraid. The Ari HaKadosh says when you do an Avera at night, it's 20 times worse than when you do it in the morning. Do you know how many nitzotzot from you are in the night going to clubs, shmubs, all this? And when you decide at night, I'm going to wake up, I'm learning Torah right now, he's in the club right now, he can't do shtuyot. He feels it in him, I can't do Averot right now. How does he get that feeling? Is it tzaddik? He just ate PIG yesterday. How does he get that idea inside his head? How? Because you, that night, open up the Gemara in the middle of the night and start learning Torah. You don't know how many Jews you're saving. We do Tikkun Chatzot? Forget about it. You just made an atomic bomb with your Shorish Neshama. An atomic bomb. Even if you don't cry, you don't feel anything. What a Chorban Beit HaMikdash 2,000 years ago. Ooh. You sat down, you did it, you tried, You know what kind of atomic bomb you're letting go in your Shorish Neshama? Not an atomic bomb, a nuclear bomb. Iran is small on you. You think Iran has power to make a nuclear bomb, Rabotai? You think they have the power? Biden, Schmeiden, Trump, cyber wars, because we're searching the news like it's some... You know what the prophet Zechariah says? The prophet Zechariah says, in the end, Zechariah chapter 14. If you want to know, it's Zechariah chapter 14. At the end, we're all going to be in Yerushalayim. There's going to be such a war, that 2/3 of the world will be decimated. Not through the vaccine, not through some kind of microchips. It's going to be a war. A war on what? The same war that me and your father fought for. You know who's our father? You know what father I'm talking about? Abraham. Avraham Avinu. That was the war he fought against Nimrod. It's the same war. It never finished. You see what we're doing right now? We're talking Torah. I'm only having one. There's only one goal I have right now to spread to the world. There's one Hashem. And the biggest klipa that's stopping that, you know what that is?
Ourselves.
JC. That's the biggest klipa that's stopping that. Son of God. Son of... You know how sad it is to see a Jewish guy go with a daughter of the... Yeah, let's call her that. I don't even want to say the CH word. You know how sad it is? Uba'al bat el nechar. Uba'al, the Zohar says, if you're bo'el bat el nechar, oved, not ki'ilu oved. Oved avodah zarah. אין לו עולם הבא. אין לו עולם הבא. רבותיי, going back to what we were saying before, Zechariah says, in Yerushalayim it's going to be such a milchama. We don't know it's going to be before Mashiach comes or after. We don't know. Zechariah doesn't say. He doesn't say when it's going to be. He sees a vision. He's the last 3 prophets. Anybody knows who's the last 3 prophets? Malachi, he's the last one. Malachi, they all lived at the same time. There were 3 friends. Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. 3 last prophets. Zechariah, Rashi says, I cannot give you a pirush on his book. There's so many things here that I don't get it. He's afraid to write a pirush. He's afraid to write it. Rashi says this. Rabotai, in Zechariah it says it's going to be such a war. Such a war, Rabotai. 2/3 of the world will be decimated. Why? It's happening already right now. Men with men, women with women, everything is okay. Change your gender. In the army, it's okay already. What else is next? What else?
Gender neutral babies.
Gender neutral. You hear what he said? Gender neutral babies.
You don't have to pick the sex now.
It's all slowly by slowly. It's tipa chari tipa, tira chari tipa. All the everything's mutar. God, who needs a God? Do you know who's sitting in the White House right now? You know he's not Protestant. He's a Catholic. He's a Catholic.
That's worse.
Those are the extra super kofrim. Let's call them kofrim. The mega kofrim they are. And you know what Rabbi Yaakov Ades says? Rabbi Yaakov Ades says, we lost sight of the prize. We think our fight against the internet schmint, and we think that's our fight. You know what our fight is? Against those kofrim, those believers in jail. Those are the biggest klipot inside the world. You know why? Do you know what's the whole point of David HaMelech? To fight against them. Mashiach won't come until that in Italy, whatever that place is called. Why did coronavirus hit there first? Why over there first? To wake us up. It's to wake us up, Rabotai. That's the Avodah Zarah. You know how many Jewish kids? I don't want to say. You guys don't know how many Jewish kids fall to those to Bat El Nechar. Bat El Nechar, they fall. It's the last week of Shavavim. It's only appropriate I talk about this. You know how many Jewish kids fall to these things? In clubs, in shavs. And you! By learning Torah at night. Doesn't have to be 3 o'clock in the morning. You know that, right? It could be 8 o'clock, 9. Right now, we're over here. We're learning Torah. We're saving them. Well, you think because of coronavirus they're not partying right now? They're partying like a rock. If you think they're doing all the shtuyot, all the havalim, and we're saving them right now. How? Excuse me, I'm looking straight. And how are we doing that? How are we saving that? By learning Torah. You think this learning Torah is a stam, the havalim? I was learning some Torah right now. I'm going to scare you guys a bit. I'm going to scare you. Can I scare you guys a bit? Please, I'm begging you. I'm telling some history. I'm waking you guys up right now. You know, I'll tell you the truth. Can I tell you guys a secret right now? But don't think of me something, I'll tell you a secret right now because I love you guys. I was davening right now at Ravit. When I get to Shema Koleinu. There's a place like Tachanunim Ata. You could say your Tachanunim, your supplications, your tefillot. I said to Hashem Yitbarach, I'm so tired. I said, Rabbi Moshe, I'm giving a shiur right now. Give me bracha that I should wake up the Levot Am Yisrael. Please, I'm begging you. Somebody, only one person, only one Jew, I should wake him up. And I promise you, Hashem, I don't want no sachar for it. I said this right now. No sachar, no nothing. I don't care. I only want to do what Hashem wants. I said this in this morning. I said right now. There was one goy. He lived in the time of the Renaissance. He was Italian. Guys, listen to this very carefully right now. I'm telling you secrets of secrets. His name was Giovanni Pico de Mirandula. Giovanni Pico de Mirandula. Shem Rishaim Mirkav Yemachshavon Zichro. He was a Renaissance man. He was a Kritmach. Listen to what I'm saying right now.
A sexy man.
In Gehenom. His guy, he died at the age of 31. How did he die? In the year 2007, if not mistaken, the church, look how important it was for them. 714 something. How many years? 500 and something years. They reopened his body from the grave. They call, something called to exhume them. They want to see what's the particles in their body. 500 years later, what's so important for you to open up his body from the grave? Renaissance man. They opened him up from the grave. They found out that he died from poisoning. 31 years old he was. He already made the whole Italy hafuch halafuch. Who is this guy? This guy learned Kabbalah. This Notzri learned Kabbalah. You listening? He had the works of Rabbi Avram Abulafia. Rabbi Avram Abulafia was known as the Ro'eh. He could have been a prophet in his time. Could have been a prophet. But time wasn't ready. He took all of the works of the Kabbalah of all the Spanish rabbis. You know how many works of Kabbalah there are? Before the Ari. Before the Ari! You know how many there are? Oh, you don't even know what's waiting for you guys. I researched this a bit. You know what kind of works there are out there? Rabotai, you have no idea what Judaism is. You have no idea what we are. This Pico de Mirandula, he translated all the works of the Sod, of what was in his time, to Latin. Till today, he learned from a Jew. From a Jew he learned. Till today in Portugal, in Italy, in all these places of the big Catholic Spain thing, they study it. They study it. They not only they study, they know the Sota Tzerufim. How to connect the letters of Hashem. That's what we learned in the gates of the pomegranates.
But how does God give them the power to use it?
Because when a Jew doesn't want to do it, you know who takes the power? The Klippa. The Klippa. When the Shefa comes down to this world, if the Kedusha doesn't surround it, you know what takes it? The Klippa. Guys, we're 219 years till the year 6000. En Arbe Zman. Either we take the Torah by the... what we need... Rabotai, nothing matters. Family, wife, kids, nothing matters. Only Torah matters. Wife, kids, it's all important when you get home. But if Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai went to learn Torah for how many years? Rabbi Rahamim? 12 years he went. How long Rabbi Akiva? 24 years. He had a wife, Tzaddiket, Rachel. you don't get one of those for a long time. Once in a millennium. If they, what are we gonna say? Once a week we came to learn Torah. Once a week, Rabotai, we came to learn Torah. Okay, twice. Rabotai, every day you're supposed to go learn Torah. You have a free moment. You have a free moment at work. Learn Torah. You at home. You're between moving the eggs and the omelet. Learn Torah. You're in the barber shop. You're cutting the hair. In the meantime, learn. What else are you gonna do? What else you gonna do? I want to know. What else? Nothing. Shtuyot. Yetzer hara. I'm tired. From what? From shtuyot? From Yetzer hara? What are you tired from? I always say this, and it should be a lesson for you guys. I was once learning in a kollel. My biggest regret is I didn't take advantage when I was there. Now I wish I went back.
What do you mean by that?
When I was in the kollel, coffee time, schmuffy time, the cigarette, everything, back then, everything I could. Now I wish I was back there. I wouldn't take a second to waste. A second. 7-8 hours I was there. Second, I would learn. I would break my head. I wish I could learn, Rabotai. I wish I could learn 24/7. I learned, Rabotai. Believe me, I try my best. Sometimes I have nefilot. Sometimes I have times that I fall too. Yeah, everyone does. What do you think I am? We all fall. We all do. But you know what? Every time you fall, you should know one thing. When you fall, it's only because of one reason. Something good is waiting for you on top. And I always tell myself, when I fall, Shalom, something is waiting for you on top. Right away, I get up. Yalla, let's learn. My fall is not your fall. Your fall is not his fall. His fall is not his fall. Everyone has a different fall. And I want to tell you guys one thing, Rabotai. I promise you one thing. If you guys want, you guys could be... You know who passed away? I'm sorry. You know who passed away a week ago? 4 rabbis passed away in one day.
Yeah.
4 big rabbis. Tzadikei Olam. You guys all know Rabbi Twersky. One of the biggest tzaddikim. There was another rabbi who passed away, Rav Soloveitchik. Rosh Yeshiva of Brisk. You guys ever heard of Chaim Mintz?
Yeah.
Of Chaim Mintz, you know him, right? The Rosh Yeshiva of Ura.
Yeah.
Of Ura.
He
He posted a video. How he visited Rav Soloveitchik last year. He was the oldest Rosh Yeshiva in our time. I think he was 97, 98. So he went to visit him, and you know what Rav Soloveitchik tells him? He's a brisk. If you guys know briskers, they're very sharp. They're known to be like the sharpest minds. Like it's so sharp that it can get them to the wrong places. That's how sharp it is. It's too sharp. So Rav Soloveitchik, I think it was Yosef Tzvi, whatever. Rav Soloveitchik told him, he's meeting with him. 97, 96. He tells Rav Chaim Mintz, the Rosh Yeshiva of Ura, all the Ura, ask the rabbi. It's Rav Chaim Mintz. He tells him, I'll tell you something. In Yiddish. And I'm Haaretz. There you see the Yitpal. The Am Haaretz, he says. Am Haaretz could be a Gdolador. What is the one thing he waits to tell him? And then you see him 5-6 minutes inside the video is looking for the source in the Mishnah Berurah, where he wants to show Chaim Mintz where an Am Haaretz could be a Gdolador. I want to ask you guys a question. We were in Egypt? Yes or no? Yes. Where did we come from? From Argentina? From Brazil? Where did we come from? We came from Egypt. From New York we came from? From Bukhara? Where did we come from? We came from Egypt. Okay, originally Iraq, if it makes you feel better. Where did we come? We came from Mitzrayim. When we were in Egypt, was there a tribe that learned Torah and had prophecy in Egypt?
Levi.
Yes or no? Rabbi Abraham?
Yes.
Leviim had?
Yes.
Why did God choose a kid that grew up in a Pharaoh's house with all the Avodah Zarah?
Because you have the foundation.
Why did he choose him? Maybe. Why did he choose him? To teach you a lesson, Habibi.
That even
From the poison of the snake is gonna come out the Yeshua, the salvation. You know what I'm saying? You do Rabotai? Do you know who you guys are? To kiss you guys, every single one. You gotta kiss every one of you guys. You guys are Kiddushim, Torim, Tzadikim, and Kamochem. Yeah, we fall. What, you don't fall? Everyone falls. Abraham, I want to ask you guys a question. Rebbe, Moshe Rabbeinu, I want to ask you a question. Moses. Moshe Rabbeinu. Did he ever do Chas Shalom shtuyot with a married woman? Chas Shalom. They accused him of it. By the way, they accused him of it. In Korach, they accused him of it. They accused him.
Not even his own wife.
Not even, exactly. Did he steal ever? No. They accused him of it, by the way. They accused him in the Truma, next week's party. They accused him of stealing.
And he says that.
Avodah Zarah, he did. Come on. Out of all people, Avodah Zarah, Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe Rabbeinu was pretty big stuff. Am I right or wrong?
The biggest.
The biggest. But yet, in Moshe Rabbeinu, we find Hashem punished him for one reason. Anger. He hit the rock. Oh! Big deal, he hit the rock! Wow! He hit the rock the first time, by the way, last week. He hit the rock last week. Last week, God told him to hit the rock. Then he told him to speak to the rock. Did he hit it? Did he speak or hit it? By the way, he spoke to it, by the way. First, he spoke to it. Then it drops. Jal! You know why? Because you know how Jews are. We want water! Hey, you all you didn't drink water was 2 hours, 3 hours. You still we want water. They all jumped on him. They made a how do you say? They ambushed him. But Moshe Rabbeinu not supposed to get angry. If we were Moshe Rabbeinu, I think we would lose a lot of all of us. Because whatever level you are, that's whatever Hashem is gonna judge you by. בעולם הזה ובעולם הבא. I'm going to end the shiur right now. I just want to tell you guys something funny. Not even one thing I prepared for you guys tonight I spoke to you guys tonight about. That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing.
Do one thing?
I cannot. Because I love you. No, I do love you, but I cannot. Because if I start, I'm going to have to go from this to this. But you know what? Can I tell you the truth? From God came out this thing. You know, Lavan in the Torah was a big Rasha. Mechashef, Rasha, Mirusha. Bikesh Lavan, soon Passover is coming. Could you believe it? Half of the year is over. Lavan said, the Haggadah says, do you know who wrote the Haggadah of Pesach? There's no answer. Nobody knows who wrote it. They could say many things, but nobody knows. Probably one of the Geonim. Probably one of the Geonim wrote it. No, the Haggadah of Pesach. Nobody knows the actual author of the Haggadah. The Tefillah, we know who authored it. On Sheikh Knesset, Hagidolah, we know who authored the Tefillah. Haggadah of Pesach, very true. We don't know who actually authored it. Because you know the halacha is in the Pesach, we have to say the story of Pesach. But who says we have to say the actual text that's written in the Haggadah? Maybe I could just say like Rabban Gamliel said, whoever didn't say these 3 things on Passover, didn't have Pesach. Bukhari, Pesach, Matzah. Baruch Hashem, Bukharis are so beautiful. Right when they say Pesach, everyone's like excited. They come out of their trance. Everyone, Pesach, Matzah, Maror, and they go nuts. Also, but you guys is like this? Yeah, okay, say it. My point is that, Rabotai, we have a lot of avodah to do, but at the same time, we have to give ourselves a lot of credit. We're at the end of history, as we know it. We're at the end. And we could bring it easily, or we could bring it in a very tough way. We have to remember, if Hashem gave us this responsibility, it's only for one reason. Because we can handle it. Lavan Arami bikesh la'akor et hakol. He wanted to destroy everything. Everything he wanted to destroy. His daughters, his grandkids, he wanted to rip up everything. What was his name though? Lavan, white. I'm white. Everything's good. I call him Seder. God came to him in a dream. He says, don't touch Jacob. He comes to his kids, kisses them. I love you. I did that. Lavan. What does he do the next second? Sends a message to Esav. Your brother's coming to you. Knock him out. We have a lot of Lavans today. Lavan Shavande, we say in Bukhari. Don't get confused from the outside. It could be Lavan, but the inside, it's Shahor. And I tell you the truth, some people are Shahor on the outside, and the inside. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us, Mishabim. When we started the shiur with the Orev, the dove, and the raven, not on camera. May Hashem bless us over here. We should know the secret of the raven, the dove. Bring Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. Yechozer b'tshuva shelema. Me first. Tonight is the Yortzeit of Rabbi Yaakov Edelstein. Rav Yaakov Edelstein, the brother of the Rosh Yeshiva of Ponevezh Yeshiva, the biggest yeshiva today. Rav Gershon Edelstein, he's the biggest Rosh Yeshiva today in Israel. Rav Yaakov Edelstein, today's his yahrzeit. He was called Rabbi Zivugim. Rabbis of Zivugim. Light a candles for him. Rabbi Yaakov Edelstein. May Hashem bless us with bracha, v'atzlacha, parnasah, yeshua gedolot, kol ha'atzlachot, kol ha'brachot, kol ha'yeshuot. If you ate the bread, yes. May Hashem bless you. Kol v'nebaruch Adonai le'olam. Amen v'amen. Rabbi Hanan ben Gashia omer, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu,